The descent. By then, even the post boxes were gagged. Fire was a controlled substance and music was banned unilaterally. Nobody had a birthday. I met you beneath a broken street lamp on Aldwych, where you once explained actor network theory using raisins. Fresh fruit was considered anarchic. I've always been scared to do wrong. We walked the wide streets through the city. 1 meter behind you, I felt the heat of my nerves and drew my coat closer, afraid those frazzled wires tracing my bones might have glowed right through my skin. I watched your breath disperse in the frosty air and feared I was failing at living. You led me through an unmarked door, down stairs that spiral deep into the core of the earth. The temperature rose and the walls throbbed as we descended. Whatever I still clung to gave way at last, just as a floor might fall in a burning house. Until the final step, you kept your back to me. I hardly knew you. I hardly knew myself. I tend to cover a lot of the same sorts of themes in my poems. So a lot of them are either about relationships or about London, or they're set in London, or they're about relationships in London. But this one is not about London, and not quite about relationships either. It's called I Heart New York. No one told me Times Square was a triangle. Last time we came, your uncle showed us round, and I felt proud of Piccadilly Circus. This time we came by train from Canada. The half-unfrozen Hudson was cracking up so gorgeously, and the clouds seemed to send down light, like spaceships marking where to land. At the border, a bearded man was taken away. In New York, their faces light up when you speak. We bought socks in the gift shop of some big hotel off Broadway. It was Free Art Friday, and there was suddenly a blizzard, and we'd been soaked to the knee. I love you both, but it did my head in queuing for that Japanese restaurant. Katie and I did Edward Scissorhands with chopstick wrappers. When the food arrived, it looked like it was moving, and I absolutely freaked. You have to say water, or they won't get it. That was the day after I walked past Barnes & Noble, and the collected poems of Dylan Thomas fell from the sky. No, really. And they say a penny dropped from the Empire State could kill a man, so a book could really do some damage. You can buy non sequiturs in bundles now from international supermarkets. And guilt, where is that sold? How much for eating cupcakes on my birthday from the famous bakery and admiring San Franciscan boys in aviators? Oh, and when we went for mani-pedis, we sat in a row and Korean ladies kneeled at our feet. This poem is a kind of love poem and also a sort of lament addressed to London. A Londoner's love song. Lord of large-scale disasters, my rain-decked lover, you dream, taller than the distance from my feet to the trick roof of your ever-after. My silver fox, hard-bitten whisperer, grey-coat hawking free sheets to the breeze, I woke in you, a wraith born in the space between skyline and smog, lived in you till you seeped through my veins like gutter dirt, floored me on gum-pocked pavements, shouldered all manner of burdens on the damp of your curbs. Wind-tanned, river-coloured, I emerged from your alleyways addicted, streaking the white edges of your smarter districts, pausing on street corners, eyes winking like coins in a drain. I fell for you, for your scents, sweet and foul, for your choked, calamitous roads, and the constant rancid drip of promises and the glass of high windows, struck blind by the sun. Prints of lonely nights and teenage hopes, socket brews of youth spent pretending to be old, and the adrenaline burn of cheap drink necked in queues, or wine's more grown-up mouth curl 10 years on. How deeply I took to you, despite your vast indifference. The more I lost, first kisses, last buses, my nerves, my dignity, the more you claimed, I knew I couldn't leave you. Oh, let me never lose sight of your sleek black bonnets waiting outside courts and railway stations. Let me yield to your stranglehold, forever in awe of your river's glittering signature. Let me cross your bridges quietly, gazing from the top deck of a bus. Let me never forget how you held me in every circumstance without demur, blazing blue and white with lights, bearing me home night after night. Let me romanticize your cruelty, your bitter feuds, forgive your tainted progress, and give myself to you forever after. For you are the iron in my blood, the pewter in my eye, you're the smoke that tarred my pink lungs with this darkness. A sort of short, slightly weird love poem. The title's adapted from a song lyric by a friend of mine, but as he's not here, I don't need to acknowledge him. Everything she does is not her fault. The truth is, I didn't imagine I would melt this way, down to my bones and my milk teeth. This old tin, I kept the things I lost in. I didn't imagine you'd be round to see me like this, have to listen to this rattling all night long. Darling, I don't know if you thought about it, the way the round bone of my cheek fits the bowl of your eye socket exactly, the slow blink of your still lemonade eyes beneath my face. Each eyelash graze a tiny sip, like a bird drinking. It's called A Short Guide to Corseting. My first was an 18-inch black ribbon, straight off the rack. My boyfriend picked it out. We agreed small waists were more attractive. We were in a loving and supportive relationship. Choosing her trainer is a tight lace's last and most important act. Look for a man with faith and hands strong enough to teach you how to give yourself away. Don't be afraid of restraint. Pain is the spine of life. It holds you up. I wear a corset for these reasons. Love came sideways, like a crab. I wanted to agree with love. I wanted to be carried off in its claws. My trainer keeps me corseted 23 hours a day. Any less is a waste of time. I love his arms, thick as pythons. Every morning he tightens the laces till they burn lines in his palms, till he swears under his breath and apologizes. I cling to the doorframe. It's harder for him than for me. I've seen how he fights to contain himself. This hurts us both. That's a good thing. My second was a 16-inch with a 2-inch stem. I had it made to measure. My boyfriend held me firm while the corseteer laced me in. I drew my last deep breaths, and I gave myself up then, standing between them. It was such a relief. Yes, the corseteer said, perfect fit. My breasts frothed like champagne from a bottle. My eyes bulged. Little skittle, my trainer whispered. I couldn't bend. A wrinkle ran down my back like a seam. Now that I wear a 14-inch, I use only the top half of my lungs. There's just room to breathe. I've still got more than enough. I've realized how little we need. Thank you very much.